Hey guys, welcome back to the Let's Make Progress Workbook series. Alright, this video is all about stories, okay? Because whether you understand it or not, your mind, your brain, it thinks in stories. And it has created a story for everything in your life. You've got a money story, you've got a marriage story, you've got like how kids are supposed to act story, you've got a fitness story, you've got all of these stories that are in your subconscious mind about who you are and who you're supposed to be. Okay? And so my family story, we have a story that is about not being in the way and not bothering anybody. Okay? And this is something that goes way back, okay? Like my grandma, she was 85 years old and she was out getting firewood, incredibly hardworking woman, her whole entire life. So she's out getting firewood, so that tells you that it's cold out, right? Like she's not chopping it down, she's getting it from the woodshed, okay? She's getting wood from the woodshed to bring inside to make a fire for the night before she goes to bed. She lives alone, okay? As she's doing that, she falls down outside. And she has a phone with her, and she doesn't call anyone. Okay, she spends the night outside in the freezing cold alone, but then when the sun comes up, it's about 8 o'clock, she calls one of her sons to come and help her get up. Okay, and so, everybody finds out, and it's kind of this big, like, what's going on? And they think, man, Grandma's losing her mind because she spent the night outside and she had her phone with her the whole time, like, she didn't even think to call someone. And she's like, oh, no. I thought about it, but I didn't call somebody because it was about 9 o'clock and I didn't want to bother anyone. And you're thinking, Grandma, are you serious? Like, no, like, what? Are you kidding me right now? But it's true. It's so absolutely true. Like, she could have died outside and she's just like, no, I'm fine. I don't want to bother anyone. No, don't do that. And so that got passed down to my mom, and she passed it down to me. And I don't want to bother anyone either, right? It's like, it's just even doing this, I'm like, oh, did you want my workbook? It might really help you, but if it's bothering you, don't feel obligated. I don't want you to... Do you see how that could just totally overtake somebody's life and just make them so debilitated by not being able to step up and even help someone because they're worried that they're going to be bothering them? That's a family story that I have, okay? And to be honest, society has a lot of stories for us too, right? We're sold this story that we need to go to school for 5 days so that we get 2 days off. And then we're just conditioned that way so that when we go to work, that's totally normal to us to go to work for 5 days doing something that we hate doing, just like going to school, just for 2 days off to do something that we enjoy. Right? We're sold the story of retirement, that you're supposed to work hard your whole entire life at a job that you don't like to put in your time so that you can retire comfortably one day, right? Nobody says, what about the idea that you have something that you're so passionate about, that you love doing, that you want to do it for the rest of your life, you don't want to retire? What about that? Nobody tells that story, right? But you think about some of the greatest people on this earth, they're still doing what they're doing, even though they're incredibly wealthy, right? It's just like nobody stops singing their songs or making movies or, doing what they love. There's certain people out there that are incredibly wealthy, but they love doing what they love doing what they do, so they continue doing it. Nobody sells you that dream. Nobody tells you that story because people don't understand it, right? And so the thing you need to realize is that whatever stories you have, there's something in there that's not true, right? Just like my grandma. Like, it was not true that she would be bothering someone. If she would have called anyone, like we live 2 hours away, if she would have called me, I would have driven 2 hours. Like my grandma, she's so awesome. Like she's done so much for me in my life, showed me so much unconditional love and patience. Like it would have been my honor, right? Like I felt robbed. Like it was like, Grandma, like I could have actually given back to you. You know what I mean? And she's like, no, she thought she was bothering me. But that's just not true, right? It's not true that you have to go to work for 5 days doing something that you hate to get 2 days off. That's not true. Okay, so you guys got to figure out what your stories are. What are your family stories? What's your story about money? What's your story about your fitness? What's your story about whatever you're trying to transform? That problem that you have, the area that you're stuck. What's your story around that? And what part of it isn't true? Because that's what's going to move you guys forward. Okay? This is the Let's Make Progress workbook. If you guys don't have a copy of this workbook yet, you can get it below. And if you haven't subscribed to this series yet, go ahead and do that. It's going to make it a lot easier. And it's going to help me figure out how many people I'm actually touching by this work, because it is going to be my life's mission to help people get unstuck. So I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button and that like button if this is resonating with you at all. We'll see you on the next video.